because of John the Baptist looking like Elijah, and because this prophecy was about to be fulfilled, there was great expectancy and a great religious revival. Now, John was asked if he was a prophet, or if he was the prophet. And I want you to notice what his answer was. John 1, verses 19 to 21. John 1, 19 through 21. Now this is the testimony of John, when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny, but confessed, "I am not the Christ." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" And he answered, "No." So when they asked John the Baptist if he was the prophet, John the Baptist said no. So the question is, who was he then? Go with me to Luke chapter 7 and verse 27. If he wasn't the prophet, who was he? Luke 7, verse 27. Here Jesus is speaking, and he says, "This is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send whom? I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you." So the question is, what was John the Baptist? He was the Lord's messenger. He said, "I am not the prophet," but he was the Lord's messenger. Now, why did God call John the Baptist? Let's read a few verses that tell us the reason why God raised him up. John chapter 1 and verse 23. John 1, 23. He said, this is John the Baptist speaking, "I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord," as the prophet Isaiah said. In other words, he arose in harmony with the fulfillment of a prophecy of Isaiah. And it says that he was called to prepare the way of the Lord. In other words, he was the forerunner of the Messiah to prepare the way for the coming of the Messiah. Notice Matthew chapter 3 and verses 1 to 3. Matthew 3 verses 1 to 3. "In those days, John the Baptist came preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." That means the Messiah is about to come, because the Jews were expecting the coming of the kingdom. Verse 3, "For this is he," speaking about John the Baptist, "this is he who was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, The voice of one crying in the wilderness, Prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight." Now, what does that mean, make his paths straight? Well, in antiquity, when a king was about to arrive, there was a group of individuals who would be sent on the highways and on the roads to make sure that they would remove all of the stones, they would fill in all of the holes, so that the king's chariot could come on the road easily and smoothly. So that's what this means. Prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. In other words, prepare the way for the coming of the Messiah. Notice Luke chapter 1, verses 16 and 17. Luke 1, 16 and 17. Speaking about John the Baptist, this is before his birth. "And he will turn many of the children of Israel to the Lord their God." Isn't that interesting that he would turn the children of Israel to their God? That must mean that they went astray from their God, right?